I never thought I would say this, but there are things that I miss from iOS switching to Android. And they're little things, but yeah, this is probably things that you will notice as well. Let me know in the comments if these things are the same for you, if you have the things that you notice that you miss from iOS. Let me try and be as much clear as possible. The first thing that I actually miss about the operating system is the clean, minimalist look of iOS. I mean, we all know that iOS specifically has always been about being clean, about being minimalist, and this is something minimalist or minimalistic, I have no idea, but anyway, you know what I mean. And they of course created the operating system with this in mind, and you can see it when you use an iPhone. The iOS system has always been the same, and everybody's iPhone more or less look the same. Nowadays you have more ways to customize the operating system, but usually is 90% the same for everyone. And this is something they decided because they wanted to have a design specifically that is familiar to a lot of people. And I appreciate that. Switching to Android, so specifically to the version of Android that Samsung has, it's called One UI, I've noticed that some things look dated. I don't know how to put them in words, but for example, I'd rather do and use the operating system that Google has that is still Android, but that is the look that I like the most, rather than using Samsung. In fact, I will now show you the look of my Samsung because I did download an app that it was able to create some sort of pixel UI, because that is actually something that I like. So now it looks more minimalistic. Again, or minimalist, I have no idea. Let me know, correct me in the comments. So this is something that I wanted to have and I missed when I switched from iOS to Android. Another thing that I miss is still related to the operating system, and this is specifically to some of the animations. I will now show you a video that has all the animations that I was able to find on iOS, and I can tell you these animations look so nice. And Samsung has, like One UI has some animations, but they're far behind when it comes to comparison with, of course, iOS. A little things that makes your phone feel more fluid, makes your phone feel fresh, new. And you know, when they update the operating system, so when you have a new iOS release, usually you have new animations as well. And this is something that I really enjoyed about iOS. I was tired about the look of the operating system, but I was always excited to be able to see and find out and figure out new animations that actually they introduced into the operating system. One specific animation that I really miss is the animation with the Uber Eats animation. So this is more a screen notification animation, but on iOS you're able to track your Uber order, or even Uber Eats again. You can see like a progress bar of the order or the Uber driver, and you can see everything on the lock screen. On Android, I mean, on my Samsung, I wasn't able to do it. And when you order a car with Uber or when you do Uber Eats, I was never able to see the same things. I mean, yes, you see some sort of notification regarding Uber, but you don't see the animation or the notification that actually is customized specifically to an iPhone. And this comes to the developers, of course. Why? Because for them it's a lot easier to develop an app for iOS, because once you do it for one phone, it's applicable to any other phones. Same goes for the iPad, same goes for other app on other systems. When it comes to Android, unfortunately, since you have a lot of different systems, a lot of different form factors as well, and a lot of different ways the phone interacts with the user, it's really complicated for a developer to create so many specific versions of specific apps. So what they do usually is they keep bare bone experience for the user. Maybe they will add specific features to the phones that are sold the most. But yeah, usually you get the base-based experience when it comes to notifications or animation specifically to third-party apps. And iOS has been in the market since forever, and for them it's easier to create animation specifically for the iOS user. And yeah, this is something that I miss, because to me that was a fresh thing that I was able to see and check every single year. Another thing that I miss, and this is even if I'm wearing one right now, this is the Galaxy Watch 7, is the Apple Watch experience. And I will give you a detailed explanation for this, but first let me tell you what I miss. So of course we all know that Apple changed the game when it comes to smartwatch. They started with the Apple Watch, and they started a trend also with fitness, and I really enjoyed using the Apple Watch. And that was something that, if you remember, when I switched from the iPhone to the Samsung, that was something that I kept because I wanted to still use my Apple Watch, because I really liked the ecosystem built for the Apple Watch. I like the fact that you can do workouts with the fitness application on the Apple Watch, all the different features they enabled in the Apple Watch as well. With this one, I feel I did a step down. I tested the Ultra as well, the Galaxy Watch Ultra. Same thing there. I didn't test the Garmin, but I know that the Garmin is more fitness centric and less related to being a smartwatch, but the Apple Watch is both. So it's a smartwatch that has a lot of different features with, continuity with the iPhone, the Mac, and whatever other device. And of course, it's fitness as well. And that's something that I actually missed. Even the animations on the watch as well are really cool. And there's something that I miss as well. For example, when you start a workout, you have the countdown here, you have the countdown on the Apple Watch as well. But one thing that I actually liked better is when you close a ring on the Apple Watch, the animation is 10 times better when it comes to comparison with this. Yes, here you see like a little animation, but the way Apple did it is completely different and I like it a lot more. I give you an example, and I want to give you an example because this is not just an opinion, this is something actually real, is the fact that I wanted to start running. So I wanted to start, learning to run. I mean, have like a standard running coach. Of course, the Samsung has it, but I was doing some research and everybody was pointing to the app called Runna. So I went into the app, I started, creating profile and everything else, knowing that, I didn't have any issues with pairing my app with the watch. But that was not the case. I wasn't able to pair my Galaxy Watch because in order to do that, I needed to download another app called Strava, sync the watch with Strava, then sync the Strava account with Runna, and then I was able to use the watch. To me, that was an experience that didn't make any sense whatsoever. Like Samsung is not like a small company. They have a lot of devices, and I don't understand why they don't have like not priority, but even the watch available to be synced with an app. I really don't understand. And this is an objective thing that happened to me, and that was like, this is something that never even think about when you have an Apple Watch, because all the different apps, all the different features are built for the Apple Watch as well. And going back to the Galaxy Watch, another thing that I didn't like at all goes more to Samsung instead of just the iOS ecosystem. It's the fact that you cannot return the watch. Let me explain what I mean by this. So if you go on Samsung website, I mean, this is at least in Canada. I'm not sure in the US or other countries, but this is my experience here. So if you buy this version here, is just the GPS version, I didn't need the LTE. If you open the box and then you activate the watch, you can't return it. So the policy that Samsung has is if you buy the Galaxy Watch, you activate it. If it's the LTE, the GPS version, because apparently the LTE version, you're able to return it, then you cannot return the watch, as you have to keep it. Because I wanted to return it because I wanted to give it a test and see if I was actually happy about it. I wasn't. I didn't, wanted to keep it. I wanted to test the Garmin as well. But then I was talking with the Samsung customer service, and they were like, yeah, we have this policy on the website that says that if you activate the watch, if it's not an LTE version, you cannot return it. I didn't know about that. I'm completely honest, and I was shocked that a customer is unable to return a product if he activated the product. I mean, how can I even test the product if I like it, if I don't use it? To me, that is just unexcusable in 2024. So yeah, just bear in mind, if you're thinking about to buy a Galaxy Watch 7, maybe get the LTE version, so if you don't like it, you have the possibility to return the watch. But overall, to summarize this video, going from iOS to Android, these are the main things that I missed. I'm aware that you have also the iMessage that I don't personally care about because I'm European and I grew up using WhatsApp. Same thing goes for FaceTime. It's not a big deal for me because, again, I can use WhatsApp to do video calls as well. But the main things that I miss are the little things that iOS, of course, does that are completely different when you switch from, again, iOS to Android. I'm not saying that Android, the operating system, is bad or anything. I'm just saying that the way the iOS is customized, again, with all the animations, the attention to details, is something that you will notice if you switch to One UI, because that is the operating system that I'm using right now. Let me know, because I'm really interested in giving it a try because I'm thinking about it to get the Google Pixel, probably the Fold. But let me know if this is something different for the Pixel UI. So if there is same thing that goes with iOS, because maybe I can do a comparison between the 3 operating system and see actually what are the differences. But right now, the way I feel, I know there's new One UI coming out pretty soon, but the way I feel, it's like iOS feels more fluid, feels more not responsive, but feels more polished in a way. And Samsung still has some things that I think they need to improve to make the operating system feel new. Related to this, iOS, I think it's time to have a completely redesign of the operating system. Changing the color of the icon is not enough. I just need maybe their redesign of the operating system as well. But overall, yeah, these are the main things that I miss. I don't miss the hardware, the cameras. I don't care about that. Battery life is fine. The screen is amazing. Again, I think it's underrated. The anti-coating that we have on the screen, the anti-reflective coating, this is something that once you have it, it's really hard to go back and using a normal screen because it's so different. It feels so premium. Again, if you have an S24 Ultra, you know what I mean. If you don't, just maybe go in a Best Buy or whatever and try and see this screen. This coating is just amazing. You have to see it in person. There's no way for me to describe this. With that said, this is it for the video. Let me know if you have my same opinions in the comments. Let me know if the Pixel UI is different, and maybe I can give it a try. And if you have any question, of course, let me know in the comments. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I see you very soon in my next video.